Hi everybody, this is Vilborg here, and we're going to give you a new video. We're going to be looking at the map of Vacant on Modern Warfare and thinking about what are the top 5 things that we could do to make our gameplay better and to get an upper edge on our opponents when we're faced with the map on Vacant. And also, when you have the time, obviously come over to our Twitch channel and follow us, where we'll be streaming at least, 3 times a week for a couple of hours each time. And also make sure you subscribe to our YouTube page as well. We're going to be planning to making a few more Call of Duty videos. So I'm going to try and cover every map with top 5 tips to make us better at them. So yeah, I hope you enjoy. So the first tip I want to show you is the back office on Vacant, and this office area, particularly one area of the office, gives you a real big advantage, particularly if you're trying to push over for C flag and domination, or if in team deathmatch, just trying to increase your kill count, because as you can see on the heat map, actually you're more likely to kill here with more blue in that area. It's about a 60% to 40% KD ratio, so you're more likely to kill here than to die here. So it's a good area for turning games around and to put your opponents on the back foot. And also, I use this area quite often to try and rotate the spawns as much as possible, particularly if we feel like we're falling behind and we're on the back foot. Now on tip 2, I like to call this a devil's spawn, and it's one of the most frustrating spawns on Modern Warfare, just because it's so frequent. But if you're looking at the map, you can see there are 3 possible routes that you can run from this spawn, and I've labelled them red, green and blue. If you run the red route, you're likely to prolong the spawn because the veranda is a deadly place. The green route is a safer option and is more likely to rotate the spawn trap, but it may take a little longer, but it does require a few kills to do so. However, the blue route is a risky route and does normally require maybe 1 or 2 kills, but it can rotate the spawn very, very quickly. And that's particularly handy if you're playing domination. If you're playing team deathmatch, I would recommend the green route. So here are some examples of me running these routes. Actually, these all came from the same game, and you can see the success of each route, and you can see how unsuccessful some routes are. But actually, you can see eventually we did manage to change the rotation of the spawn by running the blue route, which you will see at the end. So hopefully you can see from these examples, all from one game, firstly, that actually this spawn trap in Vacant can be really, really irritating at best, but actually there are many ways in which that you can force yourself out of this spawn trap and rotate it around. Now, one of the tips I'm going to offer here is actually a lethal, which I think is very valuable when you run in close quarters games such as maps like Vacant. And I think Thermites are really, really useful because they offer so much more than just a normal lethal, particularly on these type of close quarter maps like Vacant. I often run Thermites on indoor style maps because they can provide lots of cover in narrow corridors and walkways, which aids particularly in manoeuvring around areas of the map. They also aid in capping objectives and also clearing objectives when they're being captured. I would also recommend to use the 3rd perk Shrapnel when you're running Thermites, because you never run the risk of running low on lethals, and you can also completely flame out your opponent or a particular objective. But be careful though, if you do use them in hardcore, expect to do a lot of team killing, so just be aware of that. So a tip video will not be complete without a frag route, obviously, or a grenade throw. So we have one here. Now this one actually is quite known, I would imagine, from a lot of people who've played Call of Duty 4 and even now, for example. But I still want to showcase it anyway, because it's so effective, particularly in Search and Destroy, but for all game modes as well. Now, particularly in Search and Destroy, it will clear the back path to the B bomb and obviously reduce the roster count if successful. But the map will show you where to throw it from, which is where the arrow begins, and where it will land on top of the building where the arrow ends. But the frag itself will fall through the top of the skylight into the building below and hopefully kill a couple of people. There are a few tips for you. You want to make sure you aim between the water butt and the railings. That's the sweet spot. But also have the correct trajectory. Make sure it's high enough to get on top of the building, obviously, but also not too high that it hits the overpass above you. So the frag will fall down, but if it doesn't fall down, it can still cause damage, and particularly in hardcore, that's sometimes enough to wipe out 1 or 2 people, as you're about to see in the next few clips. Obviously, this is at the moment in a private game, but actually, I'm not a coward. I'm going to show you what happens in a multiplayer game live when I've been streaming, so you can see this actually in action. And actually, one of them, I throw 2 frags and get 2 kills. So yeah, it's a pretty effective grenade, and I hope that you try it in game if you haven't already, and you can hopefully see how effective it really is. Okay, so the last tip I would like to give is a little bit of just advice on Search and Destroy for this map. I'm not saying I'm the best at Search and Destroy, I'm far from it actually, but when we play as a team, these are some of the things that we do, and we find that they work more often than not. But first, I just want to say that when I play Vacant Search, I usually switch between using the MP5 or a sniper rifle, and I use the MP5 and the marksman rifle, MK2 carbine in this game. One of the first things, if we're defending, is I also like to try and clear as many enemies out as possible at the start of the game. So when we're defending, I usually go to A side with the sniper, and it gives you an opportunity to scope across the whole map from throughout the whole hazmat building. And also from the hazmat building, you can throw grenades out towards a veranda, and sometimes you can clear a few enemies that way. This is a very popular place to get some quick plants, and you want to try and eliminate that as much as possible. But also, as you can see from some of the clips, be aware that actually, particularly in hardcore, a lot of our RPGs and lots of explosives come into the hazmat building, and I fall for it twice in this video, and I'm just showing you this to see how it happens. And sometimes it's just best to try it and take your time when you go in there. Don't rush in there, because the likelihood is you might get wiped out quite quickly. So just be aware of that. Now, when we attack, quite often we do the same thing every time. So we always go for a quick A plant, and everyone has a few roles. So usually we have one long range sniper that goes left, who tries to wipe out some people at the back of the map, and I do that successfully on one of the clips here. And that person always throws a smoke onto the A bomb, and then the runner, usually with the bomb, will run with an SMG, usually an MP5 or something like that. Then the bomb's planted, and then we make sure the bomb plant is facing the sniper as well. Whilst that plant is taking place, the sniper or other players will check any B runners that come flanking and flushing around from the right hand side of the map, as some as they can catch you out, and that's happened a few times to us. But if this is done really well and really quickly, it can be a very effective way to win a game of Search and Destroy from this side. As you can see, we won around here. I know I did die in this one as well, but that's very successful. However, if a team does catch on to this, then you can then switch. If you time it correctly, you can switch and go onto a B plant, and then you just follow a similar tactic like I've shown in the grenade video. Throw the grenades in that spot, and then usually if you just rush in, you can get a quick plant on the B side. So, thanks for watching the video, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something new. If you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button if you're new here, and hit the like if you enjoyed the video. And if you have a little bit of time, come and follow us on Twitch. The Twitch name is now on screen, and we look forward to welcoming you when we're streaming live over there. We stream probably about 3 or 4 times a week, and usually some point in the evening as well. So if you log on onto Twitch there, you will see us. Next video I'm looking to do is probably shoot house tips, but it's completely up to you. If you put a comment down below of what map you would like us to look at next, by all means I'll make a video on that. But anyway, thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.